What's going on, guys? This is the Kentucky Prime Picks podcast. My name's Devin Hood, here with Gibb, Stewart, Austin, and Burke. We're going to run through the college basketball slate for the weekend. We're going to look at our bowl games that we have coming up. We're going to check out the college football playoffs as well as our NFL picks for the week. Leading us off, Saturday, we've got Ole Miss and Memphis playing a game. Ole Miss ranked 16th in the country, Memphis being unranked. Ole Miss actually plus 105 on the money line.
I like
That's
that
kind of crazy.
I'm taking that all day.
Ole Miss is a very well coached team from Chris Beard. Memphis, they've had their struggles this year, so I think we'll take Ole Miss on that.
Yeah, I mean, earlier in the season, Memphis did beat Clemson.
They did.
You know, they had a good game against them.
They did.
But, I mean, there's a reason Ole Miss is ranked 16th in the country, right?
There is. Memphis beat UConn, too, didn't they?
They did. They beat them down in Maui.
Yeah.
So, I mean, don't get me wrong. Memphis, they've had some good wins. They are sitting at 9-3 on the season. Ole Miss 11-1. I mean, I think that's kind of crazy, though, Ole Miss being plus 105.
Yeah, the only thing I can see that going in that is just home field advantage, home court advantage, whatever you want to call it.
But, I mean, does Memphis have a rocking court?
I don't think they do.
They're not going to bring the house down, I wouldn't think.
No.
But I have been surprised by different fan bases, though.
Yeah. I mean, it's a 2 o'clock game on a Saturday before New Year's. I mean,
there ain't going to be no students there.
I would say how many students are going to be on campus still, how many devoted fans are going to be there.
yeah, I don't see how Memphis wins that ball game, personally.
I don't either.
Boys, as a Louisville fan, we played Ole Miss. They look pretty good.
Yeah, I mean,
They look pretty good.
I think Ole Miss at plus money. You'd be crazy not to take that.
I'd put the house on it.
So, spread. Right now we got Memphis minus 1.5. We're going to change that, obviously, if we're going to bet the spread for Ole Miss. What are you thinking? 5-point game, 10-point game, 2-point game?
I'm thinking 5-point game.
Yeah, I wouldn't be scared to do an Ole Miss alternate of 4.5.
Yeah. 4.5, 6.5.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen how tough the SEC is going to be this season. I think that's one Ole Miss potentially could run away with. You know, I would hate to bet something big and it not pull through, but I would not, hesitate to do a 4.5, 5.5 spread on that game.
No, not at all.
I agree.
Yeah, get that value.
Yeah. Looking next, we got 13 Texas A&M versus Abilene Christian. Texas A&M big favorites in that one, minus 3,000.
I'm seeing minus 10,000.
Minus 10,000. See, the line has changed from just a few minutes ago. No money to be made there. Texas A&M 23.5-point favorites. We just added that in for some fun because, minus 10,000.
That's crazy.
You have a big, 8 to 15 leg parlay going to throw them in, But
Right. It's going to add a few dollars.
I would say you get one of those profit boosts that, it goes up extra 5% with every leg. If it doesn't void it out, might be something to throw on there.
Right, yeah. I wouldn't bet the spread just because, 23.5, that's a lot of points.
That's 20 points.
Yeah, but that's
go anyway.
obviously one I think, feel pretty comfortable Texas A&M takes that.
140.5 points? What we think about that? Or are we staying away from that? Because
I don't think I would touch that. I hate when a really good team plays somebody, no offense, like Abilene Christian. 140.5, let's just say Texas A&M scores 100.
you still need 40 points.
Yeah, you
from
still
the other
need
team.
40 from the other team.
Yeah, it could be done after halftime.
Yeah.
I mean, you could have like a 60 to 30, and then it's like 90 total, and they
the
the C team. They're just chilling.
Yeah, they're getting the backup some time in.
Yep.
Yeah, I probably wouldn't touch that 140.5.
No.
But maybe the under then.
Yeah, under might not
if
be bad.
anything, I would take the under on that. Probably.
Yeah.
I don't know. I really don't think there'd be that big of a shootout to go over 41, to hit 41.
Right. Looking at the next one, this is a good matchup for Saturday. If you have something, not on the schedule, you're looking for something to do. Number 22 UCLA at number 14 Gonzaga.
That's going to be
The West Coast Hoops Showdown.
West Coast Hoops Showdown. UCLA plus 155, actually. UCLA coming off that loss to North Carolina in the CBS Sports Classic.
Mm-hmm.
That was a heck of a game.
That was a heck of a game.
That was one, if you listened to the Prime Picks podcast last week, we said, bang the UCLA money line. I actually, listened back to that, and I started looking at that game, and I was like, you know what, I probably should fade myself whenever I said that. Ended up putting North Carolina in a parlay. They pulled it out for me. Other teams named Kentucky did not, but UCLA obviously coming off that tough loss. I don't like UCLA here.
No.
I'm not digging it. I'm not enjoying, watching them go in at Gonzaga.
No, Gonzaga 3.5-point favorites right now. I would take that spread.
Yeah.
Because we saw how physical Gonzaga was against Kentucky.
Yeah.
Their experience, they play a hard-nosed defense, and they can score. So I'm taking Gonzaga all day on that.
Is that a neutral game or is it?
That should be neutral.
Yeah,
Being the West Coast Hoops Showdown,
Yeah,
I
I
would
would say with it being a named event like that.
I would say that'd be neutral floor. One thing I am looking at, though, the total for that, 147.5. I would like the over in that.
Over.
We
Yeah.
seen Kentucky and Gonzaga go 90 to 89. We've seen UCLA and North Carolina be a high-scoring game. So I think that would be one where UCLA and Gonzaga both are able to put up some points. I like that one finishing, close to 100 for both teams potentially.
Mm-hmm.
Gib, we got any info on that location for that game?
It's a neutral.
Neutral. Where is it at?
Inglewood, California.
Ooh. That's not really neutral.
More of a
No,
home
no,
game
no.
than UCLA.
Yeah, it's more of a UCLA home game.
That's
but,
right down the road.
Yeah, but not their actual
Yeah.
place they play.
Is
so.
that what stadium? Is that going to be
And the
into it?
Yeah, into
it? Now, is that what replaced the Forum, I guess? Because the Forum was in Inglewood at one point, back when the Lakers were playing there in the, I want to say, 70s, 80s.
So, of the five of us that are here, you're the only one that's lived in that area.
That is true.
The rest of us
Asking the
haven't made it
wrong
that far
crowd
west. Yeah.
No, it's not the Forum.
Did that take the place of the Forum? I know. What is the Forum still around?
I have no idea.
Give me a
No
second.
clue. I feel like maybe they have renamed something, the Forum, but the OG is gone.
There's
Can't
still a
confirm
Forum.
that. I thought there was, but maybe the OG building, the original.
Doesn't look like anybody's played there since 2001 in the Forum.
But maybe that's what I'm thinking about then.
Maybe.
It was, from what I've heard, watching a few like Lakers documentaries, things like that. I think it was kind of a rough building.
The Lakers stopped in '99.
Okay.
And then they went to the Los Angeles Sparks and Los Angeles Stars. And to 2001. It's the Kia Forum now, by the way.
Okay. And that is in Inglewood, right?
In England.
Yes.
Okay, that's what I was thinking.
Just south, yeah.
Yeah.
Along with
3900
SoFi Stadium is also.
39 West Manchester Boulevard.
Which I'm going to say something. Since you guys never been that far west, I'm surprised, like you said, SoFi being in Inglewood, that's a rough area. I don't see why land's cheap, I guess. So that's why they keep building these, nice stadiums in these areas. But there's a reason that Snoop Dogg said Compton, Long Beach, Inglewood, right?
Yeah.
It's in a song for a reason.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's one. I would take Gonzaga spread 3.5, and then the over on the total at 147.5. I wouldn't feel, too scared to do that at all.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the money line I'm seeing is minus 182. That's still pretty good to parlay something into.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Next matchup, we got unranked Utah State against number 20 San Diego State. Stay with me on this one. San Diego State 8-2, Utah State 11-1. All right. Utah State is plus 160 on ESPN Bet.
So I'm going to go ahead and ride the San Diego State.
Go ahead. Would you just take money line or do a 4.5-point spread? Is what they got projected on ESPN Bet.
See, I don't know enough about the program. I don't know enough about Utah State to know how good they're going to match up with each other.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to go with the San Diego State money line.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't disagree with that. That's one of those games. Kind of feels like a trap, right? You look at the schedule, you look at the record, 8-2 versus 11-1. You're like, hey, that could be one Utah State pulls out.
Mm-hmm.
Not saying they don't, but just from a logic standpoint, you kind of got to go with that. Number 20 ranked team in the country, right?
Yeah. I'm seeing on FanDuel minus 205. Yeah. I'm fine with taking that.
Okay, so
Maybe
it's even more.
parlay it with
Right. Maybe.
Gonzaga.
Yep. Throw it in
together.
there.
Yeah.
Sent a little West Coast California action that day.
I mean, that gets you to plus 130. It's at least plus money for two favorites. So,
That's not bad.
I don't hate the under for this game either because both teams normally the points they allow against them is in the mid-60s. So
Really?
they're the way it's reading off the stats and everything, pretty defensive heavy game. So
Yeah, and that's an over-under of 144.5.
yeah, the
So, I mean,
two,
if you're scoring 60 and 60, that's only 120.
Yeah,
it's
let's say-
72 each, 73.
yeah, let's say both of them. Utah State 65.7 points a game, points put up against them a game.
Yeah.
And San Diego State 63.2.
That could be a game we see finishing 60 to 54.
Yeah,
Yeah, I would take the under.
or even a 70-68.
Right, it still holds to the
Yeah,
under.
you're still under. So I definitely don't hate the under on that one.
Even 72-71.
You're gonna be clinching.
Yeah, you're going to be sweating it out the whole time, but
You better hope there's no overtime at that point.
yeah,
Yeah.
I don't hate that under at all. That's what we have Gib here, guys. He is our registered statistician.
I just make it sound good.
He does. All right, moving into our bowl games. I don't know about you guys, but this has been a bowl season that I have not cared a bit about.
It hits a lot different when Kentucky's not playing, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that probably does make a difference. 4-8 doesn't get you to a bowl,
Yeah.
but Louisville is going to be in a bowl game. We're going to talk about that here in a minute for our Louisville fans. But first, we're going to start out with a ranked matchup. Number 18 Iowa State playing number 13 Miami in the Pop-Tarts Bowl. All right, I don't know where they come up with these names.
Gosh.
Maybe we should get a Kentucky Prime Bowl. That sounds better than the Pop-Tart Bowl.
I would think so.
I mean, that sounds kind of official.
I mean,
Oh,
I've
that
seen,
sounds nice.
seen a couple commercials this season that kind of point towards football making you hungry.
Yeah.
That math's adding up, especially with the Pop-Tart Bowl.
So, Gib, in the Pop-Tart Bowl, like I said, Iowa State 10-3 on the year. Miami 10-2. Miami's one of those teams I feel like they may have gotten snubbed from the college football playoffs. Is kind of the agenda they were putting out there, right?
For sure, yeah. I mean, they had basically a potential Heisman winner there, and they've been a good football team the whole time. They definitely got snubbed just by the outcome of the ACC championship.
Yeah, and I mean that's one kind of hate to see it, but also you wonder what they would have done against Ohio State, Penn State, because we've seen the underdogs not fare well in those first round matchups of the college football playoffs.
I think they would have done better than like a SMU or Clemson would have.
Yeah,
I
or
think
Indiana.
Yeah, for sure.
So Miami is a 4-point favorite in that game.
With minus 195.
Yeah, I mean, I would parlay it because I think Miami's going to win. But, I'm not taking any underdog in that game. Miami plays a tough schedule. They play good competition pretty much, year-round. I think that's one Miami kind of runs away with, actually, to say, hey, you should have put us in.
Yeah, I would agree.
And who is Iowa State's guy?
Yeah,
I mean, did they have a Heisman finalist and all that?
No, I don't think so.
they didn't. Yeah, Miami looked really good this year. That is one of kind of those, you hate to say expand the playoffs more, especially after the first round we seen, not living up to the hype of those games. But Miami would have been a good team to see in there for sure.
Yeah.
That game is Saturday at 3:30 on ABC, so that's a good, primetime slot for them as well. That's one I think, like I said, Miami runs away with. Moving on, this is an interesting matchup. Number 17, BYU, and number 23, Colorado, in the Alamo Bowl. BYU, ESPN bet, has them at plus 150. Colorado at 3.5-point favorites.
I'm taking Colorado.
Taking Colorado. What do you think, Bert?
Yeah, I can't doubt Coach Prime on that one. Yeah, I think I'm taking Colorado on that.
I think it really depends which Colorado team shows up.
Yeah.
BYU's been pretty good this year.
They have.
They have, but they've also had some times where they didn't show up.
They did. Have we heard? I mean, I guess Travis Hunter's playing, right?
I believe
I
so.
think so.
Haven't heard otherwise.
Yeah, Shadur probably going to play.
Yeah.
So, I mean, they have a full team. I don't know anything about BYU, if they've had any guys, opt out, hit the transfer portal, anything like that. But, late season game, if you have your full team like Coach Prime does, that is one that you would be kind of silly, I think, to bet against at that point.
Yeah.
I'm going to be that guy. I'm going to bet against Prime.
You're going to bet against
always
him.
Bet
gotta be
against
that guy.
It's
Colorado.
crazy.
Hey, there's always got to be one, right?
Is BYU plus 150 still?
I'm seeing plus 146 on
So,
FanDuel, but yeah.
about the same.
No, not a whole lot of
Kansas
difference.
142.
What we thinking over under at 55.5?
Mine's FanDuel's got 45.5.
FanDuel has 45.5.
54.5. Sorry.
Okay. I was about to say that's a
Dyslexia.
10-point difference.
I would slam it.
Yeah. I mean, if Colorado plays well, they put up 40 by themselves.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and then BYU's kind of playing catch up.
Yeah. I mean,
And then you're in a shootout, and you could easily hit, 60, 70 point total.
yeah, I don't feel bad about that. I would take the over.
Slamming it over.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Gibbs kind of talking me into BYU, though.
I mean,
Don't listen to Gibb. He's that guy.
Do you
So
fight?
crazy.
I don't think so.
I
You
mean,
go against the Mormons?
we went against the midshipmen. Just
We
saying.
did. We did. That didn't work out well for us.
But
It did not.
who's their guy?
Yeah.
that's
Who's
fair.
their guy?
These guys are a little bit better than the midshipmen.
I don't know.
Midshipmen.
Travis Hunter,
Right.
Heisman Trophy winner. We'll get into our thoughts on that when we talk about Boise State. But, he did do enough to win that trophy this year. Shadur Sanders, he was also one of the Heisman finalists, or, right there at the end. They got a good ball team.
I mean, this is like the biggest game he's coached. Like,
Yeah, that is true.
he better be ready to play. I think he'll get him ready. Yeah.
Yeah.
He
What do
knows
we
something about big games.
do? We think Coach Prime stays with Colorado after this year?
I don't know.
With Shadur heading to the NFL,
Does he follow Shadur, or does he move on to a different college team?
Well, who you think?
I don't think he follows Shadur. I don't think
No.
he
Who's
does.
going to come call him though?
I think any team that's kind of like on the brink there.
In the NFL? Like,
No, in college.
But that's also
Like-
a coach that, that likes to vocalize a lot more.
Yeah.
A lot of programs aren't really in that realm. They don't really like that, hey, let's just have our coach say a couple of one-liners and have him out the door. We don't want a guy that's, completely a celebrity and everything that's always in the limelight.
And
Yeah.
you know they don't want that in the NFL either.
Right.
No. NFL probably wants it less than
Yeah.
college football, honestly.
Yeah.
And I was saying the NFL already has it enough with their players, so they don't need coaches out here
Yeah.
as well trying to make a name. And
I almost wonder if like a struggling SEC team, which we haven't seen any coaching carousel moves in the SEC. Arkansas has already said Sam Pittman's going to be back, and Florida's already committed to Billy Napier. But if one of those teams, let's just say, decided to move on, Florida, for example, Florida and Coach Prime together, that could be a dangerous combination.
I hate it because I don't like Florida at all, but I could see it being
Yeah.
beneficial.
Yeah, like one of those teams that has been really good in the past, has had a few down years. You get, Deion Sanders' energy.
Mm-hmm.
That could be something that, creates the perfect storm for a team like that. Moving on. This one's kind of weird. The Reliquest Bowl. Number 11 Alabama against unranked Michigan. Any other year, I feel like this is a game that's, for a national championship.
Right.
Especially the last, 3 or 4 years.
Yep.
Alabama is a 12.5-point favorite with an over-under of 43.5.
I think they get it done.
I think Alabama wins, and I think the over hits.
I think so
I
too.
think so.
43.5.
Gotta bet.
Are
that.
they just expecting Alabama to win by a ton? I mean, I guess 12.5, but still, I feel like that 40.
Yeah.
They can score 44 total.
Yeah,
Yeah.
43. And this is a game. And Michigan's, let's not forget they beat Ohio State at the end of the season. They're not a pushover football
They're
team.
not a bad
They
team.
can score.
Yeah.
Have they had any transfers or anything like that? Because at a certain point, a 7-5 team, guys like to jump ship and go ahead and get out. They don't want to play that ball and get hurt.
That is true. I've not heard about any Michigan transfers. Not a big Michigan fan, so to say. I like them. Not a bad line there, I don't think. I do like Connor Stallions. I've said that a few times here. I'm
Yeah.
going to say it again.
Yeah.
If he's on the sideline, maybe we look at a little bit of Michigan money line action, but he is not. But like I said, I do think that's one Alabama wins, and I would take it over. 43.5 is kind of crazy.
What about the spread?
12.5 is a lot.
There's almost not much value in it.
No.
Yeah, I don't like it.
You win by 10 points and it still doesn't hit. Like,
Yeah, I would take this game and parlay it into something with the Alabama money line and the over. Maybe that Colorado game, BYU, we were talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah, honestly, I think the over is probably your safest bet and most valuable bet.
Oh yeah, for sure. Because I'm seeing minus 520. Like,
Yeah, that's not getting it done for us. This is going to be a matchup, or Stewart and Austin like here. Louisville and Washington. Louisville is 2.5-point favorites with an over-under of 49.5.
What's the name of that bowl?
That is the Tony the Tiger Sun Bowl. Where's that game played at? Does anybody know?
sounds like the greatest bowl. What do you think?
Could be played for a national championship.
I'll say it
so.
could be.
It's going to be an NYE section.
Yeah.
Louisville getting in that game at 8-4. Washington 6-6.
Might be biased, but I say Louisville wins pretty easily.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm
Definitely
not
not.
biased at all. Actually, I'd like Louisville to lose, but I don't think they will.
Yeah, no, I definitely think Louisville's going to pull it out.
I'm slamming the spread and over.
Yeah, that's a game probably Louisville wins by 7-10, if not more.
Yeah.
Just,
I'm going to
just,
call it now. They win by 2 touchdowns or more.
just to be a crowd displeaser here, I think I'm gonna take Washington on this
So,
one.
yeah,
I'm feeling an
You're
upset
gonna lose
coming.
money.
I can feel it in my bones.
He's over here trying to be Gib.
He hates money.
Yeah.
No, I'm just really trying to make the
But
whole
that'd
fans
be a
mad.
big parlay.
I would hate for that to be your one loss on a parlay, Bert.
There's no way I'm building the whole parlay and I'm putting Washington in there.
Yeah.
I'm going to
Hey.
be comfortable about it. There's
Really,
no way.
I may know something y'all don't know.
I feel like every time we see Washington in the postseason, they get destroyed.
Not
It's
this
just,
year.
it's just
Dog
disappointing.
walk.
Not this year.
Who did they play that one year? Was it Alabama or Georgia?
I
I
think
think it was Alabama.
It was bad.
yeah.
Yeah. Ugly.
I'm as bad as I hate to say it. Louisville's going to win this football game.
About 2 touchdowns plus.
Yeah, and actually, so hate to say it, don't hate to say it. Who did Louisville play last weekend in basketball? It was the same day Kentucky played Ohio State.
It was
Oh, who was that?
John Blank.
Either way, on the podcast here, we said Louisville's going to win that basketball game, and they came through and stomped them. Who was it? They beat them by like 20.
It was Florida State.
Florida State. That was one Louisville was plus money in. Florida State, I think, 2.5-point favorites, and we called that on the show here.
1
So-
by 14.
Yeah, Louisville's
At
going to win.
Florida State.
Yeah, what was that? They ended up scoring 90, right?
90
Yeah.
to 76.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So I mean, that was
For a
one.
7-man team.
Yeah.
Looking
Yeah.
pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, we've said it here before. I hate to say it. Louisville's a good basketball team, especially if they had their full roster. So that Kentucky win over them just feels a little bit better,
Yeah.
knowing that as underdogs they went into Florida State and got the win, and got it pretty convincingly
Yeah,
as well.
considerable amount.
Yeah, but yeah, Louisville, Washington. Louisville's going to win that one.
I think so.
Moving on, South Carolina and Illinois. Both of these teams have a 9-3 record. However, South Carolina is favored by 10. That's a lot of points.
Yeah.
I think South Carolina would win. I don't know if there would be any value in that money line.
Minus 360 is what I'm seeing.
Minus 360.
Yeah.
So you'd have to parlay it with something else. I do think South Carolina wins though.
We think the over under.
47.5. Is that what you got?
Yeah. That one's a tough one.
That is tough. They beat Kentucky 30-13.
Wouldn't hit.
Wasn't a hit.
Wasn't a hit.
In theory, Kentucky should have a little better defense than Illinois. I would maybe take the under.
Not hating the under. I think personally I'd stay away from the over under on this game.
Yeah, I'd stay away, but I'm leaning under.
Yeah.
I'm leaning under. I absolutely hate that spread.
Yeah, 10. I don't like that at all. If anything, couple that South Carolina money line in with something else. Just get some value there.
Yep.
Another good one. This is two unranked teams, both sitting at 8-4. Baylor and LSU. Baylor is actually 3.5-point favorites.
It's a minus 170 money line.
That's kind of crazy, ain't it? LSU's not bad.
No, they're all right.
I think I'm gonna have to ride at SEC here.
Yeah, go LSU money line.
LSU money line.
You see a plus
profit.
145?
Yeah, that's good. Yeah. It's a good toss-up, and
Yeah.
you might as well take the plus money side of it.
Yeah, I don't hate LSU enough to say they're going to lose.
I
Like
don't
Stuart
think
said, I think that's a toss-up game.
Yeah, I don't think I would put this in like a massive parlay.
Yeah, maybe
a couple legger, maybe to give a little extra value to it, but anything more than that, you're risking. Like we said, a coin flip game, a toss-up game.
Yeah, I tell you what I'm looking at right here. I think I would do LSU, South Carolina, Louisville, Alabama. Throw those 4 in together. You're going to get a little bit of minus money line on Alabama and Louisville, as well as South Carolina, but then you get the plus in there from LSU, kind of offset it a little bit.
Yo,
Yeah, make it a little
Decent payout.
bit, a
Yeah,
little more favorable.
yeah, nothing crazy. And then that gets us into our first college football playoff game, right, Gib?
Yes, sir.
I'm looking at Penn State, Boise State here. A 6-3 matchup. Penn State 12-2, Boise State 12-1. Talking about Boise State, I feel like Ashton Jeanty got robbed of the Heisman.
I think so.
100%.
100% agree.
definitely snub.
And I'm not a Travis Hunter hater.
No.
Yeah. Don't get me wrong, he done some pretty good things this year, played both sides of the ball. But as we've said before, snaps don't show up in the stat sheet, right?
They don't.
No.
They don't.
I mean, Travis Jeanty at this point, he plays well in this game. Let's just say they win. Has the potential to be the all-time leading rusher in college football.
And
And
gets
does not win
nothing
a
for
Heisman.
it besides the record.
Yeah, I mean,
Make sense for me.
I don't think I can.
You go back and look at all the other running backs that have won the Heisman, and he's put up better stats than them.
Better stats
And-
in less carries.
What a bye in the college football playoffs.
Yeah.
And, I mean,
At
there's
Bo-
not like
at
it's not
Boise
like a
State.
bum team. Yes.
At Boise State.
Yeah, and
It's
I know
not
the
winning
big
nobody.
argument too is like he sat out multiple second halves because
Oh,
they were ahead by so
yeah.
much.
Yeah.
At some point, not to be that guy, but I think if I'm the coach, I'm gonna say get back in there. You're getting the record.
Yeah.
Like, you hate to risk your guy and get him hurt because, you're looking towards the end of the season. But you're also looking towards, records and awards and everything. You want to get your guys the best opportunity possible.
They're not putting
Yeah.
respect on him.
No, they weren't. And Boise State plus 340 in that game.
Penn minus 450.
I think Penn wins easily.
I do think Penn State wins, but I mean,
I think Jeanty goes off.
Minus
Yeah,
11
sure.
on the spread.
yeah, I was gonna say I'm looking at plus 10.5 for Boise State. I don't really hate that at all. I mean,
No.
imagine where they're not in a blowout, and then Ashton Jeanty has to play the second half for the first time ever.
Right.
I mean,
Runs for freaking
You're
500
correct.
yards.
yeah, you're gonna keep it goddamn close, and especially within 10.
Yeah, I would take Boise State plus any type of points there.
Yeah.
Especially
10.5.
being that high, plus 10.5, plus 11.
I'm gonna take Boise State. I'm gonna say he comes out and has a revenge game and an anger game showing.
Mm.
You should have picked me.
This is his first time playing since the Heisman ceremony.
A little bit disrespected.
It's
Yeah.
possible.
Got a chip on his shoulder.
Yeah, you got that hatred fueling you,
Yeah.
that rage.
And let's not forget, we have dogged Penn State all year. They've not looked good. I don't know how they're 12-2.
Nope.
I'm not. We talked about it every time we bring Penn State up. I hate them.
They looked pretty good last week.
They looked pretty good last week, but who'd they play?
Bombs.
All those first round matchups weren't the games that everybody thought they were going to be. I'm kind of like Gib. I don't necessarily hate the Boise State money line here.
I wouldn't parlay it, but
I wouldn't parlay.
as a straight bet plus 330, 340. I
Yeah.
don't hate it at all.
I would honestly I'd probably same game it. Throw in an alternate spread.
Throw in an Ashton Jeanty
Ooh, yeah.
touchdown.
I would say a 2+
Yeah.
touchdown for Jeanty.
Oh, Gib, you're
And
getting
maybe
wild.
He's talking
maybe
crazy.
200 yards.
Gib.
He's talking. I mean,
If he can do it on the number one team in the country,
192 against Oregon.
why
Yeah.
can't he do it against Penn State in an actual big stage, a bigger stage,
Yeah.
after getting snubbed?
Yeah, after
He's got something
getting
to prove.
disrespected, there's gonna be some fire there.
Let's just say same game parlay. Boise State money line. Ashton Jeanty 2+ touchdowns. He rushes for 100. Let's just say 150. What does that kind of give us out at a plus? It's going to be plus money for sure.
Ashton Jeanty for 2 scores plus 160. That is insane.
That is.
Yeah.
NFL.
I mean,
player.
Vegas knows something.
Yeah, he's getting 3 at plus 160.
Possible.
Him
Who
to
else
score
do they
3
have?
is plus 600.
Who else do they have?
I mean, Genty's over/under yardage is 130.
Oh, okay. Do you go alternate rushing yards, or do you just take that over?
I think you take that over.
Well, let's see. You said what, 150?
I said 150.
That's plus 140.
What's his over? Just over the 130 that you said.
Do what? The over/under on that?
Yeah, just his
Like,
just
what's
his
the
rushing
money?
yards. What's the money?
Minus 114.
Okay, so I'll do the 150 now. So if we did a Boise State money line, Ashton Genty plus 150, and 2 touchdowns. I'm not going to say 3. I'll just say 2.
That puts us at $5.99. Plus $5.99.
Plus $5.99.
So $10 would win you $59.94.
That's not enough considering.
Pretty big risk.
Yeah. Does Vegas know something? I mean, a Boise State win, Ashton Genty rushing for over 150 and then 2 touchdowns. I figured that would be in the thousands at least, right?
I would think.
I was hoping so, but I mean the yards and the touchdowns aren't very far-fetched.
Aren't very high, yeah.
I mean, if we did, let's just cook it up real quick.
Cook
We
it up
go-
first, Gib.
Say we do the game I was talking about. 200 plus yards.
Yeah.
That goes
3 touchdowns or 2?
We're still at 2 right now. $10 wins you 900 or not 900, 95-12.
Gosh, that's not enough.
So let's go for 3 touchdowns because, like I said, he's
We're
gonna go
greedy.
off.
We're greedy.
We'll throw 3 touchdowns. That puts us at 1,561 odds.
So you're telling me Ashton Genty scores 3 touchdowns, rushes for 200 plus yards, and they win, and it's only plus what?
You only win $156.
Not enough.
That's not enough.
Not enough.
I've done.
Vegas already got it figured out.
I was gonna say I've done like 3 NFL players to get just one anytime touchdown.
And it's like plus 1,500
Yeah,
by itself. And it's Derrick Henry, Saquon Barkley, and freaking
Yeah,
C.D.
for
Lamb.
sure.
That's crazy.
Yeah, there's not
So does that mean Boise State's going to win? Did we just cook that up?
I think we
I
just
think so.
cracked the code.
They're expecting Genty to go off.
Yeah.
That's what I'm hearing. And I can't imagine, he plays all 4 quarters and goes off, and they
Yeah.
lose, especially by 10. Nah,
No.
I don't think so.
Let's say Genty's really disrespected. 5 plus touchdowns.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
plus 7,500 odds.
That's what it should be at 3.
He's gonna have a Camaro Christmas game where you
Yeah.
just drop $1 million. Gosh.
That's where your payouts start changing to be life changing. Just throwing that out there for
Anybody that wants to
a
try.
random $1 bet.
Could you imagine he gets 5 touchdowns?
Dude, that would be awesome.
Can
That
they
would be such a big just middle finger.
revoke the Heisman?
Yeah, take it
If
back.
you
That
get
happens, they should.
if you get 5 touchdowns in a game after you got snubbed, they got to have a redo on that ceremony.
We're riding. Yeah.
Well, at that point, he's just going to keep running. Might as well go ahead and run to I'm drawing a blank. Hunter's house and just pick up the award.
Right?
Yeah.
He's going to be in, wherever he's playing that bowl game at. He's not going to be home.
Yeah, it's a pretty common trend nowadays.
I was
Yeah.
saying, that's what happens whenever big names are away.
They have him with 5 plus touchdowns. That's crazy.
There's him and
I've never seen that.
one
No.
other Penn State player, Nicholas
They running back?
Singleton.
Has Penn State scored 5 touchdowns in a game this year?
And he's plus 9,000 odds.
I don't think Penn State has scored 5 touchdowns in the year in a game.
They're trying to make that dude feel good. There's no way that he's even close to Ashton Genty. Like odds of
No.
5 touchdowns in a game.
There's 3 different Penn State players that are in the odds category for 4 plus touchdowns.
That's crazy.
Who do they think they are going to be scoring that many touchdowns?
And what's the over-under in this game?
52.5 is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Why do they even have the plus touchdowns that high? So you're telling me 52 and a half. I mean,
I said we slam it.
if Genty gets 5, he gets that by himself. For sure.
Yeah, that's quite a bit.
He takes the over. Good Lord. I didn't expect this much fun to come out of the first playoff game we talked about. All right, well, you all, anybody listening, couple that how you want. I probably wouldn't go 5+ touchdowns, but I wouldn't feel terrible about the 150, the 2 touchdowns, and the Boise State
Yeah,
win.
honestly, I don't hate that. If you're really feeling wild, maybe the 3.
Maybe the 200, yeah.
Yeah, one or the other. I wouldn't say he gets 3
I wouldn't say
touchdowns
both.
and 200 yards. I would say
No.
one or the other. But definitely like it.
What a game that would be. Gib, what's our next college football playoff game?
We got Texas and Arizona State.
Texas and Arizona. I didn't know Arizona State was good at football until I
No.
seen them on the playoff bracket.
It's a little bit less interesting than the last matchup.
I feel like Texas dog walk.
Yeah.
What's
Texas
their spread?
domination. 13.5.
Ooh,
Minus
they
5.
covered. They covered the 12.5 against Clemson.
Yeah, I think they cover this one.
Yeah.
I think Clemson's probably better than Arizona State. Just
I would think so.
throwing that out there. Yeah, I would say Texas covers.
51.5 point. The second lowest over-under of the college football playoffs.
Over.
To the moon.
I think the over too. Yeah.
To the moon. If
Yeah.
Texas wins and covers the spread, the over is hidden.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, 51.5 and 12.5 for the spread. Yeah. I don't know who you'd couple that with the same game parlay, but I mean that's probably going to get you a few bucks right there, just the over and the spread.
I mean, you take an anytime touchdown or 2.
Yeah. Couple that with Ashton Genty's 300-yard game and
There you
16
go.
touchdowns.
Yeah, but Scatterbo is definitely going to score, right?
Has to.
Yeah.
I mean, I think he's coming out in this
Arizona.
game with like a point to prove, hey, we beat Clemson, we cover the spread, we're going to do it again, and we're going to the national championship.
For sure.
What we got next, Gib?
We got Ohio State and Oregon.
A matchup, or a rematch, sorry, not a matchup. A rematch of a game earlier in the season.
The favorite is Ohio State in this game by 2.5 points.
That's kind of crazy, I
I'm
think.
taking Oregon.
Yeah, I'm taking Oregon all day in that.
At plus 110, I definitely don't hate it. Stuart, how you feel about the over-under, the highest one we got, 55.5?
I don't know. This kind of screams shootout to me. I know
Definitely.
it's a lot of points. You know, it's probably the highest over-under we've discussed, but I wouldn't hate it over.
Yeah, I'm not hating over, but it just depends on what kind of game we have. Are we gonna have, just a boring first half or anything, or are we gonna have guns blazing the whole time?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I would bet, over-under straight up, but I'm leaning towards the over.
So is this one we just kind of stay away from? Just pick at your own risk, but we don't feel comfortable with?
That's what I'm kind of thinking, because you never know how this game's going to go, but theoretically, it should be a shootout. They should hit that over, but you never know. After the first week of bowl games or playoff games, I don't know. There's a lot of unders that hit that I was surprised by.
What about the spread? How are we feeling about the spread? Anybody got 2.5 points? We like alternates. We switch it up to, an Oregon minus 2.5. That gets us a little positive money in there.
Yeah, there's a couple plays you could do. I mean, if you want a little bit more value out of Oregon, you could do minus 6.5. I think they're going to win by a whole score. That's plus 200.
That's not awful.
That's not bad. We're 2.5 at plus 124.
And at that point, you're taking the money line, which is a plus 110. So
Yeah.
it's a decent little same game.
Yeah, this is a game I don't see Oregon losing personally.
No,
I don't think so.
I think it's kind of crazy that we have Ohio State as plus money. I know they look pretty good against Tennessee. The Volunteers didn't come out and play like everybody kind of thought they would. I thought that was a game that, they were overhyping Ohio State for pretty heavily. They came out and took care of business. But, Oregon, they've been the number one team in the country for quite a few weeks now for a reason.
We like anybody for any anytime touchdowns? Anybody on either side of the ball that you really think?
Read me some names, Gib. Read me some names.
Jordan James, Oregon.
What about Judkins?
Judkins for Ohio State.
What's that anytime money?
So James is minus 190. Judkins is minus 145.
Yeah, I wouldn't be scared to take either one of those.
Who you leaning more towards? Would you lean Oregon side? Or you lean Ohio State side?
I would honestly. I'd probably do both of them.
I don't hate that.
Yeah, I would throw them both in there. Maybe do like we said, Ohio or Oregon money line. 2 of those guys to get a touchdown. That could be some good money right there.
Plus 435 is what I'm seeing.
Yeah,
And if you think it's going to be a shootout,
take the
take
over.
the over. Plus 692.
Dang, what was that over under for that?
That's our highest one of this round of the playoffs at 55.5.
Wow, what was their last game they played? I don't think that would have hit.
For
Which one?
For who?
Ohio State and Tennessee?
No, Ohio State and Oregon.
Oh.
I wanted to say that was like a 31-27 is what's kind of popping into my head right now.
31-32.
Okay, so
It hit.
It hit.
it did, yeah.
It would have hit.
It
if
would have,
this was
yeah.
the
Yeah.
line, And Ohio State, they just put up 42 on Tennessee.
Yeah, I don't hate that over. I
mean,
can see this game end up, turning into
Yeah.
a shootout.
Yeah, I mean, even if it's, somewhere 30-30, somewhere in that range, it
Still hits, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd like that over a whole lot.
31-28.
Yeah.
And,
And you got to think, this is win or go home.
Yeah,
So
this is
you're
everything on the
not
line.
scheming up a defensive game plan if things start getting out of hand. You're thinking, hey, I've got 4 quarters to go out and win this football game. I'm down 10 points. I need to put points on the board.
Yeah, this isn't week 6.
Yeah.
This is all or nothing.
yeah, you're pulling out everything you got. Any trick plays, anything, you're putting points on the board.
Yeah, I agree with that. I take the over.
Yeah. And that puts us at basically plus 700 for those 2 anytimes, Oregon money line and over.
I love it.
That's not bad at all.
About to lock it in right now.
Yeah, I'll throw a tenner on it.
Get what we got next.
Final game, Notre Dame and Georgia.
Georgia.
Can't bet against Georgia.
Lord
Georgia
no.
is a 1.5 point favorite.
That's
Money line is minus 128,
What?
and our over/under is by far the lowest at 44.5.
Georgia money line. Georgia alternate spread.
Yeah.
Take the over. Anything you can do to be in Georgia's favor, I need you to put the house on it.
Yeah.
Notre Dame, I don't know. I feel like they're a little bummy.
A
Bums.
little bit fraudulent, huh?
Yeah.
I said it last week. It didn't play out. Let's not forget, week 1, they lose to Northern Illinois.
Yeah.
Their mascot is a husky. It's a puppy dog. All right?
You telling me a leprechaun can't beat that?
Gib, what are you seeing here?
Who's going to be the quarterback for Georgia?
Don't care.
Is it going to be old Gunner Stockton?
I mean, sure.
He looked better than
Yeah.
Carson Beck.
I mean, Carson Beck, well, he ended up having surgery, right? Is what I think I heard. Season ending, it's the end of the season anyway. But, yeah, I'm thinking Gunner Stockton, he went in and looked really good against Texas in that SEC championship.
Yeah, this Georgia team is not just. It was never just Carson Beck. Or
No.
It was,
No. And this is a game, too, that, whenever we looked at Georgia and Texas in the SEC championship, they seemed to play a little better with Gunner Stockton at the quarterback, I thought.
I think so.
I think so, too. I think Gunner actually made them, I don't know what type of mood or energy he brings out there.
Yeah, he brought a different vibe to the field.
But the guys just seem to want it just that much more with him out there.
Especially after he took that hit.
And just
He got cracked
ate
and
it.
then just ate it, got back up, next play, ready to go. And, I mean, that does a lot for a team. Whenever you see your quarterback out there get cracked like that and then, get hype about it.
for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's one that Georgia runs away with.
Yeah.
So,
I think so.
How much of a runaway you think? I mean, would you feel safe at minus 6.5? I assume then.
Absolutely.
That's plus 158.
No shot. I would.
what about 13.5?
Well, I might be talking crazy here. I would not be scared at 9.5.
That's
Plus 230.
yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, not Indiana. Notre Dame played Indiana. And, I mean, that game was the closest of our first-round matchups.
Yeah.
I could see this one being a blowout.
All right.
Yeah.
Just a couple random things. Gunnar Stockton passing yards. Line is set at 180 and a half. You like the over? You like the under? Think it's gonna be a pass heavy? You think it's gonna be an ETN show?
I think they're going to try to come out and run the football, just where he is a new quarterback. Doesn't have a lot of experience necessarily in that Georgia team under his belt yet. But at the same time, I could see it in a game where he comes out and just has a coming out party,
Slinging.
Yeah, 'cause, I mean, at the same time, you got to think if you're Notre Dame, you have a quarter, maybe 2 quarters of tape on this guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't have much to scheme against.
You don't have a lot to look against, so in their minds, maybe they're thinking, hey, they're going to lean heavy on the run because they know that ETN can run the ball. And then, Georgia, Kirby Smart already knows that, so they come out and just sling the thing.
Yeah, let's say they start showing a soft secondary. Kirby's not scared to put that throttle on and not let up.
I mean, he's at Georgia for a reason.
For sure.
True.
Backup or not, he's still...
We say that, and we had Brock Vandegrift.
That's what I was just saying.
He was like third string, though.
There's different levels to the...
Yeah, it went Stetson Bennett. What's his name? I forgot. Who they just lost.
Beck.
Yeah, Stetson Bennett, Carson Beck, the Towel Boy, the Water Boy, Kirby Smart if things got really scary, and then Brock Vandegrift. He was there for morale, I think.
He was just a practice guy.
Yeah, he was the home team hero. You got to have somebody from Georgia on the team. They picked him up. It is what it is. But yeah, no, I would take everything positive Georgia's way in that game.
For sure.
What about Gunnar Stockton, 200-plus yards at plus 136?
I don't know if I would do
200?
200. I wouldn't feel terrible about taking his over at that 180 number we talked about.
Yeah,
But
just that little bit more.
Yeah.
Just going over.
All right. Another just kind of off the wall one we don't really hit often here. What about Georgia's total?
What is their total set at right now?
So the break even looks to be somewhere around 24. So
For their total points?
Yeah.
FanDuel has the
Over.
over-under on the total points at 22.5.
Over.
Is
Ah,
Notre Dame a
man.
defensive juggernaut? No.
I think they'll put up at least 24.
In the first half.
Yeah.
Am I missing something here? Like,
We must not have got the odds or something.
Am I the people that just con into these bad bets and they're like, I'm just going to take all your money? Because I'm not seeing a world where Georgia doesn't score over 24 points in this game.
So if you had to pick a Georgia score for this, what would you
40?
think? 40?
I mean, maybe not 40, but I'm
It's
not
like
a Georgia
Georgia
fan, but I
20.
feel disrespected.
Yeah.
I mean, what do we got here? Options, Gib?
a 34.5 over. So we're 35-point game or higher,
I would take that.
plus 480 odds.
That's crazy.
Yeah. That's kind of wild. Who's to say it's not just a shootout?
What did they score in the SEC championship? Somebody look that up for me.
Let
real
me
quick.
fact check you real quick.
I mean, it was in the high 20s, low 30s, right?
Things not loading.
Phone and a friend here.
22.
22. Oh.
Oh.
Well,
That was Texas.
Texas is
Who
one of
has a
the
really
team
good
that
defense.
Notre Dame.
They're a little different than Notre Dame.
Yeah.
So, I mean, they scored 22 against Texas. So you're telling me they're not going to score any more than that against Notre Dame for a spot in the semis?
Texas didn't lose to Northern Illinois, I'll tell you that.
No. I'm still taking over on the 23.5.
Easily.
Yeah, I mean, when they played Georgia Tech, it was 44-42.
Yeah.
I mean, who's to say they don't get another
Slam.
8 overtime game?
Right, yeah. Let's not forget, we're talking about Georgia.
Yeah, and Notre Dame.
And Notre Dame.
Like, Notre Dame has some respect on their name, but not enough against Georgia, I wouldn't say.
I don't think Notre Dame's defense can come out and hold Georgia to under essentially 3 touchdowns and a field goal.
No.
I would think they would score 28 at the
28
very
to
least.
35.
Yeah. You don't think they're going to score at least once a quarter? I don't know. I just feel like Notre Dame would have to have 0 points at that point.
Yeah.
Like, are they just not going to score?
I see this game ending in like a 35 to 21.
Yeah,
I could easily see that.
Yeah, I don't hate that. 31-17.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe. Something along those lines.
42-28.
Yeah, it just kind of depends because at the same time, Notre Dame's got to put up points for Georgia to kind of put up a bunch of points as well.
Yeah.
It kind of goes hand in hand.
It does. And actually, we're watching Arkansas and Texas Tech right now. This is a game, Arkansas had a big lead. Looked like they were going to run away with it. Texas Tech comes back, and now we're starting to see the scoring come out. We're at 36-19.
Yeah.
So, your opponent does have to score to kind of have you keep the foot on the gas.
Yeah, they got to keep you awake.
Yeah. I think Notre Dame's going to keep Georgia awake. I just don't think it's going to be as close as Vegas thinks, apparently.
And, there's times that Georgia doesn't come out and look the greatest in a quarter or a half. And that's just that much more fuel for them to come back and absolutely smack the second half.
Yeah.
Kirby comes out with some miracle adjustments. We've seen it before. We'll see it again.
Yeah, that's everything you all just told me blew my mind.
I mean, we've seen how quick they can score against Bama. Bama looked like they were running away with that one game, and Georgia just put points on the board.
Yeah. And Georgia at the later end of the season has looked a lot better than Georgia at the beginning of the year.
Oh, 1,000%. They're more fluid. Their energy's better. You can actually just see them, like just the fluidity between them. They're out there to win. They're not out there to just take up time.
And maybe this is the lines is set at what they are because Carson Beck is out. So there is a bit of an unknown there, but I still think Georgia's going to be Georgia and win the ball game.
The name like Gunner, dog. You
gotta
not
play ball.
You can't not let him go out there and be slinging it.
We seen that shot he took against Texas. Maybe we're putting too much stock into that, but that's a man on a mission.
We saw him get rocked about 30 different times because they love to replay it.
Yeah.
Do you think Notre Dame's defense is better than Bama's?
No shot.
No.
Exactly. They scored 27 in the second half of that one game. A 27-point deficit, and they came back, took the lead in the fourth quarter. You don't think they can do that against Notre Dame? Gosh.
They're not even going to get to that point against Notre Dame.
And the thing is, if they scored 27 and a half against Bama, if they score 27 in the entire game, it still hits their team over by 5 points.
It puts you at a decent positive.
Yeah, that team over, I think, is the most...
It's a little disrespectful to them, I think.
I think it is.
I know they don't have Beck, but still,
And, I got to wonder, I'm not in a college football locker room, but are they looking at this? Is Kirby Smart getting...
Oh, yeah,
is he getting an email one day from one of the assistants like, hey, FanDuel has us at 23.5 for the total.
Yeah, they're definitely looking at it.
Yeah,
they're looking at something, yep. A little bit. They've got to feel disrespected.
Let's not forget, the last time Georgia played postseason football, they beat Florida State 63-3.
Yeah.
I want to say, you got to come out, and you also got to instill fear in your next round opponent.
Yeah.
Or you can't go out and have a close game like, oh, well, we barely won, and think, oh, well, this is national champions. No, they're going to come out full head of steam, keep that train running.
And, there's still players on that team that got snubbed last year in the college football playoffs. Like you said, they beat Florida State. You think, they're going to come ready to play.
Yeah.
There's no way I'm betting against them. There's no way I'm hitting an under on 21.5 or whatever.
No shot. Well, I don't know if you all have been able to tell, but I think we're high on Georgia today. So, cut for how you want, but, Georgia money line, Georgia spread, Georgia over, take it all.
For sure.
Yeah, what we, that was our last college football playoff game, correct?
Yes, sir. I think that rolls us into some NFL action.
NFL. We don't have as many games this weekend because, being the week of Christmas, we've had couple games on Christmas. We have a couple games since then. So we do have a lighter slate this week for our Sunday games.
But it's still packed pretty decent.
Still packed pretty good. What are we looking at first, Gib?
First game, we got Chargers at Patriots.
If you had asked me 2 weeks ago,
Yeah.
Chargers all the way. After
Patriots
the Patriots kind of,
held it. They held their own against the Bills, didn't they?
yeah.
I feel
mean-
like that was a fluke.
And it's a home game. And I'm not sure what the weather's going to be like, but you never know up there in New England.
Right?
I mean, you think people from they're used to Los Angeles weather down there?
That
Yeah,
is
that's a
true.
big,
man.
big change.
Yeah.
What is our money line and our spread here, Gib?
So Chargers are 4.5-point favorites at -250.
I hate that 4.5.
It's
Yeah.
awful. And our total is 42.5.
Man, I don't know.
I hate it all.
Which, talking about the Chargers, we recently learned Justin Herbert, 6'6".
I still don't believe it.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to see him, stand beside him in person.
Do we take
Yeah.
a bet on the height? Do you think they raised that tape measure
I'm
a couple inches?
slamming the under on 6'6". There's no way he's taller than Josh Allen. He just doesn't have that presence on the field. He doesn't look like it on the field.
No,
That he's
I mean,
taller than Josh Allen.
ESPN said it. So I guess, I mean, if anybody's gonna know, they should know. I just wonder, are we measuring with cleats on?
I have a feeling it could be different based on the player. Kind of
Yeah,
thing. You know,
I mean-
NBA, they measure some shoes on, some shoes off. KD say was 6'9". He definitely wasn't 6'9".
No,
He's taller than Cousins.
yeah, DeMarcus Cousins
Yeah.
was like a known 6'11",
Yeah.
and KD was at least 2 inches taller than him.
Yep.
If I'm wearing cleats and they measure me, I'm a good 6'3".
I mean,
Yeah.
that's just us with boots,
Yeah.
tennis shoes, barefoot. You got 3 different measurements right there. Depending on where you look at, I'm anywhere from 6'1" to
6'8".
yeah.
Yeah.
I can rival Herbert out there if I can get the right pair of boots on.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, we watched the game earlier. They said notable quarterbacks in the NFL over 6'6". Trevor Lawrence was on the list. You know, he looks tall. Joe Flacco on the list. You know, Stewart said, hey, he's a big guy.
Yeah.
Not one that looks like it, but we have confirmation on that. Justin Herbert. If you would have told me he's 6 foot, I would have said sure.
Yeah.
I mean, that doesn't sound crazy to me at all.
You want to know something else?
Let's hear it.
Apparently, Herbert weighs 237 and Josh Allen weighs 238. So they're basically the same weight, but Herbert's taller. But they talk about what a giant, big presence Josh Allen is when he's running the ball. Like, why do we not hear that from Herbert?
Yeah, that doesn't make sense. And Josh Allen looks thick.
Yes.
Yeah.
Justin
Stocky
Herbert
looks
looks
tall.
He looks slim.
Yes. He looks slim and he looks like he's 6'2" or something out there. Like, there's no way I would say, yeah, he's bigger than Josh Allen.
No.
Like, no. Or else you think they'd be doing a little bit more QB sneaks in there.
Math ain't mathing.
That's not.
All right, so
Which I don't know if that plays into our spread here.
I was
Yeah, but
saying, let's roll back into that. What we like in spread, money line, total. Are we liking any of it?
like,
Money
I,
line.
like I said, if you'd asked me 2 weeks ago, I would feel a lot different about this. But now it's kind of one of those games I don't know if I want to touch.
Yeah.
I'd still say Chargers.
Yeah, I still say
Yeah.
Chargers. Their defense has been showing up pretty good all year. I still think they can beat a Patriots team that has a decent bit of turnovers.
Yeah. Like Austin said, they're playing the Bills. They know that's probably going to be the best game they have this year.
That's their Super Bowl.
Yeah. Maybe it's just a fluke at that point.
So, do you like the 4.5? You going up 6.5? You going down to 2.5? Or are you gonna say it's gonna be a blowout game?
What do you think, Stuart?
I just checked because I didn't like the 4.5, and I thought I could get more value out of the 2.5, but the 2.5 isn't really that favorable. It's minus 210. The 4.5's not bad. I would probably take that, or maybe you could go to 6.5.
I would say 6.5.
Chargers 6.5 is plus 112. Yeah, I don't hate taking the Chargers to win by 1 score at plus money.
Yeah.
I mean, the Patriots, if they win this game, they get a worse draft pick. They have nothing to play for.
Right, yeah. At this
So,
point,
I
that's
mean,
starting to come into
If they
play.
win, they lose.
Yeah.
So, I would think the Chargers, who are, I'm pretty sure, battling for a playoff spot here,
Yeah.
would
Yeah, come out
Yeah,
wanting to win.
win
And
by a
in
score.
theory, the Patriots
Yeah.
are coming out. If we lose, it's no big deal.
Yep.
Yeah,
Kinda
I
just-
agree with that.
We kind of doing weather dependent, basically, on your spread there, then. So if we get some bad weather, you're not really looking to have a breakout, high-scoring game.
Was it 47.5, you said?
42 and a
Oh,
half.
40.
Don't put the easy now.
I want to hit the over
I
on
would
that, honestly.
I think Stewart talked me into the 6.5 for the Chargers, and I would take the over.
I think there'll still be enough points on the board, but I'm more confident in the Chargers 6.5 at plus money compared to the over at like minus 118.
Yeah, and this is one too. Patriots did play the Bills close last week. Obviously, not necessarily going to factor in immediately, but is this one the Chargers want to come out and win convincingly to say, hey, we can play with the best of the best in the NFL?
Yeah.
I mean, I think you have to come out and play that way if you want to have a little higher chance of making that run for the postseason and everything.
Yeah, we're getting into the point of the season, kind of like you talked about with the playoffs for college. You can't come out and just, win by 2 or 3 points. We're getting to the point you got to come out, win convincingly, not only for, yourself, but also, at this point for your fan base, for the organization, to say, hey, we have the juice behind us that we can make a run to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, because you got to get your fan base excited. You got to get everybody ready to go.
Yeah, I agree with that.
All right, so let's roll into the next game. This is a must-have game for the postseason. We got the Broncos at the Bengals.
Both teams need this.
Yeah,
This is a big-time game, both sides of the ball.
yeah, it is.
It's a 3-point favorite for the Cincinnati Bengals at a minus 184 money line and a slightly higher 49.5 point total
This game at Cincinnati?
at
Yes.
Cincinnati.
Hmm.
Just up the road.
I feel like the Broncos get it done.
For fantasy football purposes, I need the Broncos to get it done. That's tough. This is going to be one that's going to be, I think it's going to be a good game to watch because, like I said, both teams, playing for that last, playoff spot potentially in their division or in their conference. So,
Yeah, this is a must-have game for both sides.
yeah.
And yeah, it's very close. Like it's kind of a toss-up on who could win that, But the thing I'm most confident in is the over at 49.5.
Oh,
Yeah.
I mean, Bo Nix and the Broncos have proven they can score, especially against a team like the Bengals defense, who can allow, so many points. But then the Bengals can prove that they can score on anybody. They don't even care. I mean,
Yeah.
They can keep up.
yeah.
They can keep up with anybody. Yeah, they might not have the best defense to get stops, so they just go in shootout mode.
Yeah. That is true.
Burrow and Chase together.
Yeah.
It's a dangerous combo.
Yeah, I think this might be. Yeah,
I'm
this
a-
should be a shootout.
I'm gonna ride Bengals money on.
Yeah. I could see this being like a 40 to 30 something, 42, 30 something game.
For sure.
Yeah. Because, they would have hit the over the week, Bengals and Titans played. That would have hit this over.
Yeah.
And the Broncos are better than the Titans.
Oh, yeah.
Landslide.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, I would I'm not going to say Bengals money line because I feel like I would jinx myself for fantasy purposes. But I would take the over.
I definitely like the over there, but the rest is kind of a toss-up.
Yeah. I would pair that with a Jamar Chase anytime touchdown.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe a Cortland Sutton too.
Yeah.
Battle of the receivers.
Wonder what, I don't know, Joe Burrow's passing yards over under. He burned me.
Yeah.
Joe Burrow, over-under on the passing.
Yeah.
We got him at 271.5 yards.
That's quite a bit to ask.
You know
That's a
all
lot.
too well about that.
He would have hit that in my game.
He would have.
I had him at 275 and a half.
He got what, 273?
273.
That just hurts.
That's a lot of yards. But if anybody can do it, It's that Joe Burrow and Cincinnati offense.
All right. This game being a Saturday game, does that change your perspective at all on it?
I don't think so. That was something that we brought up last week, but after seeing how everybody played on Christmas, seeing the game from last night, I don't really think that comes into play as much as you kind of think it would.
Yeah, I'm not that worried about it.
Except talking about the game last night, that was
Snoozer.
that was terrible.
But yeah, I can't. Geno Smith just coming back. Bears have been struggling. They dropped 10 straight games.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's bad.
yeah,
I'm really surprised that was as close as it was.
yeah.
I figured that'd be one Seattle ran away with.
Yeah.
All right, let's roll into our last Saturday game. That's the night game. Cardinals at Rams. The Rams are a 6.5-point favorite. They are minus 280 on the money line, and this total is 47.5. What we thinking?
Thinking Rams win, and I'd probably say the under.
Rams and under.
I'm going to make the same point I made before. Cardinals have been eliminated from the playoffs.
If they win, they lose.
Yes. They have nothing to show here besides, I guess it's a divisional rival. But I don't think it's all going to be there. I think, James Conner, he's banged up. Does he even play the full game? Their backup, Trey Benson, banged up. I mean,
Yeah.
Are they really going to come out here and be like a top-tier team when all they have to win is losing a draft pick?
Yeah.
So the only thing I have to rival that is, do they have a chance to knock the Rams out of playoff contention? Because at that point, do you just misery love company and want to get a knockout and like, well, we're not going to the playoffs, but
So
you
you're
aren't
not
either.
Yeah, that is true.
They are right on the border. I'm pretty sure they're 9-6. So usually that means
Yeah, potential wild card spot.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is tough. I think in this one though, I think the Rams get it done.
Mm.
I think that is a real possibility though. Saying, hey, I'm not getting in, so you're not either.
Rams defense has actually been pretty solid as of recent, and I don't know. Kyler just hasn't.
He hasn't
passing wise. Yeah.
No.
Yeah. He's not been there, kind of like everybody thought he was going to be.
Yeah.
I think at this point they know that they're getting close. I think the Cardinals are. I think Kyler Murray is going to be their quarterback. They got a good pickup this year, wide receiver, and Marvin Harrison Jr. Right.
Yeah.
So I think they go for the win, which equals a loss for them. Get a little higher draft pick potentially, and get another weapon that they can use to maybe take that next step.
Yeah. Yeah. Honestly, this game I think it just depends on what kind of James Conner usage we get.
Yeah.
If James Conner has really been the only thing solid out of the entire offense, and if he's not there, if he's on limited snap count or something, I don't think they can get it done or even close.
Yeah.
I think we need to play the whole game because we just saw them lose to the Panthers.
Yeah.
James Conner went out early in the third, and it was just downhill from there for them.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, that more we talk about, I think Rams 6.5 is probably not a bad idea.
Yeah, I don't hate it, especially at Rams.
Yeah.
All right, rolling into the next one. Here's our first Sunday game. It is the Cowboys at the Eagles.
Austin, what do you think?
Let's go ahead and hit the.
Hey, I was right last week.
You were right last week.
So the Eagles are favored by 7 points. They are minus 360 on the money line. And this is one of the lower totals we have. It's in the 30s, 38.5.
That's very low, I believe.
Yeah. I
Do
mean,
I think they beat them? No.
the Cowboys are bad, but even when they lose, they still put up points.
Yeah.
No Jalen Hurts either is a big thing, but
That is true.
I don't know. I don't.
Still got Saquon.
Yeah, they still.
Yeah.
This is one of 4 games that has a total in the 30s.
Yeah.
Not 30s, but 30s.
I hate when they set the spread at like 7.
Yeah,
Yeah.
drives me crazy.
I don't think I would take the spread, but I think I would, if we were parlaying something, do Eagles money line and then hit the over on that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't hate that. All right, you ready?
And then throw a Saquon anytime touchdown in there. Just
Yeah,
fun.
yeah.
just a single or
Yeah, just well,
Maybe
Jalen Hurts
maybe
being out.
no
two-time.
tush push.
Do they? Yeah, they lean on him in the end zone at this point.
Yeah, 2-time easy.
Call it here 2-time.
All right, let's
Fairly easy.
Yeah,
get on to the next one. Colts at Giants.
Snoozer. Taking the Colts, but
hey, the Colts actually looked pretty good
they did.
last week.
They did.
Yeah, I'm taking.
Giants, however,
Did not look terrible.
So the spread set at 7.5 for the Colts, minus 405 money line and 40.5 total. Not greatness anywhere.
I
any
don't
of
like
it.
the spread at all.
I would probably take the spread. I would take Colts money line, but I'd probably bet the under.
Yeah, I don't like that over
The
under.
Giants aren't going to score.
No. Yeah, I could see this being like a 21-3,
Yeah.
maybe 21-7.
Because both teams are out of the playoffs.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think the Colts are
Colts, yeah.
7 and 8. I think they're out.
Yeah.
Giants have been out
Giants,
since week 1.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would. I think I would. I'm kind of like Austin here. I think I'd maybe take the Colts spread there.
Yeah.
All right, and then on to the Raiders at the Saints.
Snoozer. Good time for a nap.
Raiders and Saints.
So Raiders are a 1.5 point favorite with a minus 122 money line, and I think this is the lowest, tied for the lowest total at 37.5.
All right,
I'm not touching this whole game.
I would touch Raiders money line or Raiders spread, either one, whichever one. I guess spread probably give you more money,
Yeah,
Just by a
not
little bit.
much.
Hair.
and then a Brock Bowers anytime touchdown.
You need that for fantasy?
I need it for I need it for fantasy, but
Yeah.
Saints are terrible.
Yeah, but
And-
they are riddled with injuries.
Yeah, and the Raiders love to feed Brock Bowers, so I think he is able to get in for a touchdown in that game.
I don't hate it.
Especially after seeing, the Saints getting smoked 31-0 against the Green Bay Packers. They're just playing for
They're
next
mid.
season.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Packers got good defense, but I mean, you should be
You should be able to score.
something.
Yeah.
All right, let's keep this train rolling. Go Jets and Bills. Bills are a 9.5 point favorite, minus 520, and the over/under set at 46.5.
I'm going to say this again. If you had asked me this a week ago, my answer would be
Bills
Bills
30.
by 30, yeah.
I
But-
want to say this is a trap game.
It feels like it, don't it?
Yes, like minus 520 for the Bills or like a 10-point favorite. I don't really feel that comfortable in a lot of that. I mean, Aaron Rodgers is banged up, and he even said, I'm going to play the next game.
Yeah.
And they have nothing to play for. Like, they're not even in the playoffs, and there's nothing. No incentives, but he wants to play. I mean, he might just come out and
Just ball.
yeah, exactly.
Look like 2011 Aaron
Yeah.
Rodgers.
Are they
never
just
know.
trying to mess with the Bills' seeding at this point? Just trying to throw a little wrench in the postseason?
I don't even know if they can affect it that much.
I don't think so.
I think the Bills might have like the second seed in the AFC locked up. Is that right?
Yeah.
Or
I just didn't know if this was hurting like a bye week or anything. Number 1 seed.
I don't think so.
I don't think,
the
yeah.
Chiefs with this last win locked up the number 1 seed.
They did.
So the Bills don't have anything to play for. I don't think.
No.
So this is kind of a stay away game. You don't want to risk anyone getting hurt. I
Yeah.
wouldn't play anybody on the Bills.
Yeah, I don't think they have anything to play for, honestly. Because there's no bye. The bye only goes to the first seed.
Yeah. What's the spread?
9.5.
I mean,
I would maybe take Jets plus
Yeah.
9.5.
Yeah, I was gonna say keep it kind of close.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, what are the odds Josh Allen plays the whole game?
I wouldn't say that's very high. I wouldn't want to risk it.
MVP race.
that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he does have to go out there and get his MVP numbers.
Which he did
He
not get
didn't
last
look
week.
Too good against the Patriots.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if they won by 10 points,
No.
but I also don't really want to put money on it.
Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if they won, like you said, by 10, but I also wouldn't be surprised if this was a 24-17.
Yeah, a weird game. You never
Yeah.
know. It's in Buffalo. The weather,
Yeah.
there's no telling what it's going to be like.
I would say I can see the Bills winning by 3.
Yeah.
It's one dynamic or the other.
Aaron Rodgers is used to the cold, though.
He is.
He played in Green Bay for a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably wouldn't touch that one.
All right, let's roll into the next game.
Another mid-off.
Yeah, it's a bad one. Titans at Jags.
Jags.
There's no money to be made anywhere. on this
So-
game.
None.
The Jags are a 1.5 point favorite. Both teams' money lines are negative, and the over/under set at 39.5.
I don't trust either of these teams to put up points. I don't trust either of these teams to win.
Honestly, if you told me the score of this game was 2-0, I'd believe you.
Yeah.
Someone
know.
accidentally mess up and get a safety,
Yeah.
call it a game.
You know, the Titans have been playing a lot better with Mason Rudolph
They
at
have.
quarterback.
But
I don't know.
I don't know if it's enough to
Trevor
trust.
Lawrence still dead.
Yeah, I think he's moved
Yeah.
on.
On
He's
to
in
the afterlife.
Yeah, he's just.
Mac Jones now, I believe, right?
I think so. Yeah, that sounds right. Yeah, I don't. Oh,
I'm going to go ahead and just say stay away. I hate it.
Yeah.
Yeah, any way you bet this, I just feel like I'm losing.
yeah.
no matter
Even
what.
if you win, you're losing.
Yeah.
Can we get a kicker field goal?
Yeah.
Can we get a bet on that? Because I would say probably a couple.
The worst
Yeah.
part would be putting money on it and having to watch it.
Right.
Sweating it between
That's a-
this. A punt off?
I would say, can we get a longest punt? We
Yeah.
got odds for that.
That's another 1 o'clock game. Good after church nap.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, I don't like either of those.
I don't trust anybody.
Not touching that at all.
I don't trust many people to score either. There's no telling how this can just go.
If you wanted to do something, I would say a Spears anytime touchdown.
I'm going to say maybe a
Yeah.
couple players' yardage. I don't even
Yeah.
know if I'd do anytime touchdowns.
I say let's get away from that one.
All right, well, let's
Let's
roll.
I'm tired of hearing about it.
let's roll into our last 1 o'clock game. The Panthers at the Bucks.
This is a rematch from a few weeks ago when the Panthers kind of had their little coming out party, decided they were going to start playing football.
Yeah.
They played the Bucks really well that game.
So the Bucks are an 8.5 point favorite, minus 450 money line, and over under set at 47.5.
Oh
Yeah.
man.
Yeah, I mean that's about what I'd expect, but there's not much money to be made.
Correct me if I'm wrong. This game, when they played a few weeks ago, went to overtime, right?
I believe so.
And they're still giving the Bucks the 8.5.
But the Buccaneers have something to play for.
Yeah.
Panthers do not.
No.
That is true.
I could see this one almost being more of the, hey, I'm going to screw with you any way I can from the Panthers to the Bucks.
Yeah, just trying
Since they
to,
did
hey,
play them so close just a few weeks ago.
Just be like, hey, we can still do this.
Yeah,
But
Because they're not locking in a number 1 draft pick.
right.
So they could go, 5-11? Still not have a great season. But,
I would maybe stay away from the team here and go Mike Edwards. Or not Mike Edwards,
Evans?
Mike Evans, yeah. Thinking about Kentucky defensive players there, Mike Edwards. No, go Mike Evans, anytime touchdown.
one more thing.
You need that for fantasy as well?
He
I
does.
might need
It just happens to work out that way.
This one actually has a little bit more of, I can understand it a lot better. Because Mike Evans is closing in on 1,000-yard season for the most, his entire season. He
Yeah.
hasn't not had a 1,000-yard season since high school.
Yeah,
So
they're going to want to feed him.
this is a big one, and it's contract incentives. If he hits the 1,000-yard mark, he gets a $1 million bonus or whatever it was, but it's a fat bonus.
Yeah,
Are they going to allow it? Because I know sometimes they like to bench players, right? Once they hit 10, 15 yards shy of that number, like, hey, third quarter, let's get out.
I think if there's one player on the Buccaneers team you don't want to piss off, it's Mike Evans.
That's fair.
He's the only reason they've been decent.
Yeah.
He's their one mainstay on the team.
And do you think Baker's just not going to throw it to him? Baker's a chill
Yeah,
guy.
I feel like
Yeah.
Baker's going to be like,
He
you know
knows.
what? He's going to
I'm
bring him
giving
in.
you that bag.
Just
Like,
reminds you of Tom
yes.
Brady and Gronk, where he's like, hey,
Yeah.
I need one more.
Hey, I got you.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think. Yeah, I think Mike Evans. I'm not exactly sure what the over/under is on receiving yards, but
Yeah, where he's at in the season, if he's at,
yeah,
960 and he's got, 40 plus or something.
yeah, whatever his receiving props are. I'd probably take the over. I know Mike Evans alt receiving. Looks like they're projecting him about like 80 plus.
Yeah,
Yeah.
need it. Need it bad. Yeah, I wouldn't. Yeah, I agree with that. I wouldn't be scared to take any Mike Evans receiving yards, over unders, or any. I'd throw him in there for an anytime touchdown as well.
82.5 is what the line said at.
Ooh, that's a lot.
That is a lot.
I don't hate it.
No, I mean, like I said, he is their.
That's your stud.
Yeah, he is their go-to receiver.
But also, I correct me if I'm wrong, but I think the Panthers' pass defense has sneakily been good. Not bad, not middle of the pack, not like horrible like their entire team is, but like middle of the pack defense on pass defense.
Yeah,
So
and they have gotten a lot better on the offensive side of the ball, which has obviously helped out on the defensive side.
yeah, that's probably true too. Yeah.
Well, let's keep this thing going. Let's go and start in our first 4 o'clock game. Dolphins at Browns.
Dolphins and Browns.
Dolphins are a 6.5 point favorite, minus 310 money line, and 37.5 over under. This is the other game that was tied for the lowest total.
I think they're just expecting the Browns to do nothing here, I assume. I mean, it sounds like they're going to have Dorian Thomas-Robinson at quarterback. I just don't think he can do it.
I don't hate the assumption.
I don't think he can put many points up on the board, and Njoku's out. And Cedric Tillman's out. I mean, who else do they even have at receiver? I mean, they're like...
Yeah, that's their
receiver. Yeah. I mean, I guess they got Judy. I mean, but I don't know.
He's inconsistent.
Judy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So as of right now, which sometimes they are a little delayed in these later games, it takes some time to get the player props up. But as of right now, there's not any Browns players on the receiving prop. So they're acting like there's not going to be a whole lot of
scoring on that side of the ball.
yeah.
I don't think they're acting. I mean,
That's fair.
What is the spread for the Dolphins? You said
Minus 6.5.
I would take that.
Yeah, I think they would win by a score.
Yeah.
At least, yeah. I mean, put the house on that.
Yeah, I don't hate that at all.
All right, rolling into our final 3 games. We got Packers at Vikings.
that's a tough one.
That is tough.
Yeah.
I think where it's at Minnesota, I think the Vikings win.
Yeah, that makes a
So,
big difference.
This is another.
Jacobs going off for 3.
That's another tight game. Vegas kind of has it neck and neck. The Vikings are a 1.5 point favorite. They're minus 1.5 on the spread. Minus 112 on the money line. Packers are minus 104. So money's kind of all over the place. 48.5 total.
Yeah. And nobody's winning but Vegas.
Exactly.
Yeah, I probably wouldn't touch this game.
No.
I might do an anytime touchdown or 2.
Yeah, Josh Jacobs.
Justin Jefferson.
Yeah,
Maybe even Addison.
yeah. I wouldn't touch any of the team props.
I'm pretty sure Jair Alexander's going to be out.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah.
I'm not even sure he likes playing football.
Yeah. He's out like every other week that I check.
Yeah,
When he does play, though.
he's really
No,
good, but then
he's
he's just like,
he's
I don't want to play this week.
So, I mean,
Yeah, I probably wouldn't touch any team. I agree with Austin. Go Justin Jefferson, Josh Jacobs, maybe Jordan Addison, depending on how we
maybe
feel.
an Addison. All right, let's go the Sunday night game. Falcons at Commanders.
I think you got to take the Commanders.
Yeah,
So the Commanders are a 4.5 point favorite, minus 205, and the over/under is set at 46.5.
I would take the Commanders at the minus 2.5 all day.
4.5.
4.5.
I'd take them at 4.5 too.
Yeah.
Doesn't change
6.5?
my mind.
Yeah,
any,
even
so-
6.5. Yeah. If you win by 4.5, you're gonna win by 6.5.
Yeah. I would take the Commanders spread on that one.
at home, yeah, I probably would. I don't know if Michael Penix is really, I don't know. We got the number 8 pick in the draft, I believe, versus number 2
Yeah.
pick in the draft, you know?
Is this a chance to knock out the Commanders at all, or is this playing for the Falcons? Or is everything kind of set?
Falcons might be in they might be fighting for a shot. I know Commanders are probably good.
Yeah, wild
If they-
card.
Don't choke.
Yeah, because I think their record right now is what 10 and 5.
5, something like that.
So they're kind of
10-5. Falcons are okay. This is a big game for the Falcons.
they're 8
They're
and 7.
tied at 8-7 with the Buccaneers. They could win their division.
I'm still going Commanders.
Yeah, I'm still going Commanders, but that kind of adds a little more incentive.
And the
Might entice a higher score.
I just don't know if Michael Penix Jr. has had the reps to come in and win that big game for them yet.
go on the road.
Yeah.
And then I don't know.
They messed up giving Kirk Cousins the contract they did.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think if you could have got him for cheaper and had him as more of a mentor role, that would have been better. But I think you put too much money at him, so you had to play him. So I don't think you've got Michael Penix Jr. those reps that he needs yet.
Yeah, I feel that.
Any final notes for this game? Are we ready for the Monday night?
Commanders 4.5, take it
Slamming it.
I'll take that.
until Sunday when they lose. Then.
Yeah.
All right, the final game of the week. The Lions at the 49ers.
Well,
I think the Lions win easily.
Yeah,
So the
49ers
Lions
and
are
Falcons.
minus 3.5. Their money line is minus 174.
what?
Yeah,
and-
it's kind of crazy.
The over/under is set at 50.5.
slam the spread.
Yeah,
The Lions beat people to death, and they score the
Lions could
most
score
points
50
in
by
the
themselves.
entire NFL. Literally, they could score 49, and I wouldn't even be surprised in the slightest.
No.
So-
Against anybody.
Yeah.
So I'm not a huge fan of the over. Yeah, the Lions can do it themselves. We've seen it. It's not impossible. But the 49ers, they struggle to score.
yeah.
Yeah.
If the
And
Lions put up 49, we just need a field goal
Yeah.
from the Niners. That's normally what they're good at.
I'll say we're talking, the Saints riddled with injuries. The 49ers don't really have a backfield anymore.
No, they don't.
They're next in line with the injuries, yeah. But also, the Lions' defense was good for the majority of the year, but they also have a lot of injuries on their defense.
Yeah.
Like a ton.
Which may lead to this being a higher scoring game than we think.
Exactly.
So I was going to say, thinking maybe Debo might get some action, Kittle might get some action, and then the Lions just run away.
Lions, yeah.
Yeah,
There's no
what did you
way.
say the spread was? 2.5?
3.5.
3.5? Yeah.
I would take the Lions by 9.5 all day.
I'll
Yeah.
say I'm hitting an
They-
alternate on this one.
Beat people to death. Like, literally, I have the kicker in fantasy, and even if they're up 20 and they're in the red zone, they will not kick a field goal. They only go for it. It could be 4th and 10. Dan Campbell will go for it.
That's
He
what I
does
love
not even
about
care.
Dan Campbell.
We'll have a
He-
tackle in there scoring.
Yes. He will have fun with it before he lets a kicker kick a field
Yeah.
goal.
No, I respect it.
Yes. He will bring out the third string defensive tackle and get him a touchdown before they kick a field goal. So, I mean, you can't have that kind of energy and not be able to beat the 49ers by.
I still win by
3.5.
2
Yeah.
scores.
I would say I'm kind of sitting at a minus 13.5 or minus
Yeah.
16.5.
Yeah.
I'm very curious.
Either
about
one
that.
of those.
Yeah.
Put him at 13.5. Oh, you can't even.
Can't even do it.
It won't let me.
I wouldn't. 9.5 sounds really good to me.
It's not letting me. Oh, yeah, you can. Yeah. Plus 350 if they win by 2 scores.
Really.
Yep.
So go 13.5, and then a Jahmyr Gibbs anytime touchdown.
For sure. Gibbs is going to score.
Maybe a St. Brown. Maybe a Jameson.
Yeah.
Yeah, if it's really a shootout, yeah. They're each getting one, but definitely Gibbs is going to be very safe.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not a bad line right there at all.
Mm-mm.
See, there's some weeks that, you have games you don't want to touch, but then there's some it's like, what do you mean the Lions are only favored by 4.5?
Right?
Yeah.
It's sometimes it makes me wonder who they have coming up with these numbers.
Yeah. Or do they know something we don't know?
Exactly. Which I mean,
That's
They
very
usually
positive.
do.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I would, to reiterate that, I would take, kind of in the same situation as Georgia. I'm taking anything Lions that they'll give me at that point.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of playoff implications. I know the Niners are out of the playoffs,
Right.
so they don't really have an incentive to win. It's not a divisional rivalry.
And like you said, I mean, everybody on their team's hurt. You know, they're just kind of
Yeah,
limping
hurt
to the
more.
end of the season.
Yep.
Yeah, why risk Purdy? Why risk Kittle? Why risk Debo? Like, why risk your big guys? Why risk anybody on your defense? Like, just get healthy. Come back next season.
Yeah, try again.
Another thing to look at, I'm pretty sure the Lions can lock up the number 1 seed,
With a win.
maybe, or they'll at least win their division because you got the Vikings right behind them. They're tied. They're both
Yeah.
13-2, and the Vikings play on Saturday. Did they play on Saturday?
I think you play Sunday.
No, they
but-
play Sunday.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Sunday.
Oh, they play Sunday, but
Yeah.
Lions are on Monday.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
And the Vikings play Green Bay.
yes.
Yeah,
Another.
that's a little bit. That's
So, yeah, I mean, that was a
Okay.
game we said we wouldn't touch. But if the Green Bay Packers know that, hey, we can, screw the Vikings' chances at anything for the division,
they're going.
they're going to try. Yeah, they're going
That
to
is
try.
true. Yeah, but if the Vikings win, the Lions really need to win.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
have to get that one.
Yeah. So I mean,
Yeah, that's a win-win either way for us.
I would feel very comfortable if the Vikings win on Sunday that the Lions would win by 14.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wonder if those lines change at all once Vegas sees that. Especially
I'm
having
sure
that
they
day
will
change.
because
I definitely feel like that. Yeah, that money line, that spread, and everything's gonna get skewed by the number of bets and everything placed.
Yeah.
this feels too good to be true right now.
Yeah. Yeah, that's one you got to go ahead and lock in right now.
Lock in and watch it. Maybe put more on it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
double down.
Yeah. If they don't change the line, then I'm putting more on it.
Yeah, for sure. So, that rounds out our football for the weekend, right?
Yes, sir.
All right, so that means we're going to move into our Lil Wayne bracket.
Before we do that, I've got something kind of weird. I don't know if y'all saw it, but Leggett on the Panthers. Did you see what he brought to eat to the locker room?
I did
For some
not.
reason, I want to say raccoon.
Cooked raccoon.
Yeah, because he was just on a
He got it from his Christmas.
they were on a podcast with I believe St. Brown, and they were talking about it, and they were like, "What's the wildest thing you ever ate?" And he said, "Man, I ate raccoon."
Yeah, he's Southern.
He
Yeah,
is.
Yeah, I was gonna say I love his
Big
accent.
time.
Love it.
Have you all ever ate raccoon?
No, never played.
I haven't had raccoon.
No.
I have had some questionable meats.
I have been, what, yep.
That's
I've been somewhere where they were serving raccoon. I did not try it. I looked at it, and it wasn't for me. It was very greasy, though.
Couldn't do it. That's possums like that too. Apparently.
I ain't eating no possum.
No,
If they eat
No
anything,
way.
people do it every day though.
yeah.
I'll say the only reason why I say I've had some questionable meat,
Yep.
pause, is we went to Brazilian Steakhouse in Rio. Language barrier issues. Not entirely sure what all we had, but they cooked it good. It was some good food, but
That was a dog, Gib.
There's no telling what it was.
definitely possible.
Speaking of dog, have you all seen the, what is it? The Best Friends podcast? Is that who it is? Bobby?
Yeah.
He's like, what does dog taste like?
It's
He's like,
give me
Apparently it's good. Don't give me apparently. He's like, okay, it's really good. Which I've heard that. I mean,
I've heard
I've
it's
talked to
good.
some people from over that way, and they said, it's really good. They do that.
Bizarre.
Yeah.
Couldn't do it.
So, moving into our Lil Wayne bracket, now that we've got our food eats out of the way, everybody's full from Christmas. We did not have any raccoon, dog, or possum.
No.
But,
Just gotta make that known.
yeah,
Never will.
I'm not going to say never.
Never say
I
never.
will say never.
Don't give me apparently. All right. 1 seed, 6 foot, 7 foot versus 16 seed. Who won?
6 foot,
6
7
foot,
foot,
6
easily.
foot all day. Our next 8-9 matchup. I'm not going to say it because I don't want to get demonetized before we get monetized. But B Words Love Me versus La La La. This is one right off I'm not super familiar with. I'm going to be honest with you. I think we just go with the 8 seed. Just push them through, higher seed. B Word, Love Me. They're going to lose anyway, either 1 to 6 foot, 7 foot.
Yeah.
All right, next one. John versus Love Me.
John.
John.
Oh,
John.
I was going to say John.
Yeah, I was too.
That's pretty close.
That's tough.
I think I'm going to stick with it.
Majority rules here. Unfortunately, we only have 4, though, so we could end in a tie, have to do something else. But I'm going John.
I'm going John.
I'd
John.
probably go John.
Okay, so didn't even need it. All right, Forever, Days and Days. Forever. No Love, Nightmares of the Bottom.
No love.
Nightmares of the Bottom for me. That's
No
a
shot.
6-11 matchup.
That's good. That's a common upset.
What do we? So we got a 2v2 tie here. What do we do?
I think we leave it to the comment section.
There we go.
All right,
Yeah.
leave it to the comments, guys. If you want to see the 6 seed No Love move on,
Gotta be no love, doesn't it?
or if you want to see the 11 seed Nightmares of the Bottom.
It's really not even close.
Gotta be Nightmares.
Hold on. Sleeping at the top, Nightmares of the Bottom. Everybody wants to be fly till you swat them.
That's fine. Got my gun semi-cartomatic.
Oh. We'll leave that one up to the comment section. We'll see if we get anybody chime in on that one, because may have to revisit that one next week.
Once we have more people, we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. We get Burt back in here, get Tyler back, and we'll see what moves on in that one. All right, next one. Bedrock versus I'm a D-Boy.
Bedrock.
Dude, the amount of people that are on Bedrock,
Yeah.
that's a feature masterpiece.
Yeah,
it's
that's
goated.
All right, Mirrors versus Shoot Me Down.
Mirrors.
Yeah.
And then No Worries versus Get Down.
No worries.
No worries. Look me in my
I'm not
face.
even
I ain't got
worried
no
about
worries. All right, guys. We only have one more opening round matchup left for us. Get a little preview of that. The 1 seed in that one's Lollipop.
They can be easily beaten, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean,
Well, we got number 2 seed there.
2 seed in that one is Got Money. Sorry. That's kind of a weak 2 seed.
That's a very
Yeah.
that side of the bracket.
Yeah,
seems
this
very
might be a
weak.
weak side.
I mean, She Will is a 5 seed.
That's crazy.
Bad.
That's Blunt Blowing a 4 seed.
Oh, that's disrespect.
Mega Man a 3 seed. Right above it is a 7 seed.
No,
That is
there are going to be some
disrespectful.
Yeah.
upsets.
Yeah, that one right above it at a 7. That should have been the 2 seed.
Yeah.
What's it going against? Not to spoil it, but
Right above it's going against Fly In.
come on,
Right
dude.
above.
Not even close.
No, that's right above it should have been the 2 seed in that one.
1 seed.
Yeah, I could argue. Yeah, you could argue 1 seed over Lollipop for right above it.
Lollipop.
I mean,
iconic,
it's good,
it's-
but really Lollipop should have probably been a 4 or a 5 seed.
yeah.
Honestly, I kind of like She Will.
I mean,
She
yeah,
will be a lot higher.
Mega Man. That's all kind of.
Yeah.
Blunt Blowing.
They're all better than the 2 seed.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're all better than potentially the 1 seed.
Yeah, I'd say 100%.
But anyway, guys, that's going to wrap up tonight's episode of the Kentucky Prime Picks podcast. Again, we appreciate everybody listening. We'll be back again next week, hopefully delivering some prime picks for you guys to take into FanDuel and make some money.